Story 1. The Haunting Secret. The haunted house at the edge of our town had always been a place of sinister allure. It was a decaying mansion with a dark history, shrouded in ominous legends. A group of friends and I, filled with equal parts curiosity and bravado, decided to venture inside one fateful night. Little did we know that our adventure would reveal a chilling secret, one that would haunt us forever. The night was swathed in an eerie mist as we gathered outside the looming mansion. Its windows were shattered, and its walls were adorned with foreboding graffiti. We had heard whispers that the house was cursed, that it was a place where the restless spirits of the past still lingered. Undeterred by these stories, we approached the decaying threshold. Our flashlights pierced the inky darkness as we ventured further into the house. The air was thick with an oppressive chill, and the silence was broken only by the creaking of floorboards beneath our feet. As we explored the mansion's sinister corridors, we couldn't help but feel that we were not alone. Shadows seemed to dance in the corners of our vision, and whispers echoed through the hallways, whispers that sent shivers down our spines. We made our way into the dilapidated living room, where a grand piano sat in the center, its keys cracked and warped. A sudden hush fell over us as the piano's keys began to play, their notes haunting and mournful. Panic set in as we realized that none of us were near the piano, and yet its keys continued to move as if played by an invisible hand. We watched in horror as the piano lid lifted slowly, revealing a figure beneath, a figure that was not of this world. Before us stood a spectral child, her eyes empty voids, her expression one of profound sadness. She beckoned us closer, her form flickering like a ghostly apparition. With a sinking feeling, I realized that she was one of us, a girl from our group. But the girl we had known had been replaced by something else, something otherworldly. She spoke in a hushed, mournful voice, telling us that she had been cursed to remain in the haunted house for eternity, her spirit bound to its decaying walls. She explained that she had lured us here to share her fate, to become one with the house's malevolent presence. Panic overtook us as we tried to flee, but the girl's voice seemed to have a hypnotic power over us, and the haunted house's walls seemed to close in, trapping us inside. Desperation filled our hearts as we realized that we were becoming part of the house's dark history, our souls forever entwined with the restless spirits that dwelled within. But just when we thought all hope was lost, a brilliant light filled the room, and the girl's spectral form was silenced. We stumbled out of the house, shaken and horrified by what we had experienced. To this day, we can't forget the chilling secret of the haunted house. The memory of that night haunts us, a reminder that sometimes the line between the living and the dead is thinner than we could ever imagine. Story 2. The Haunting of Homecoming. As the leaves turned from vibrant green to shades of crimson and gold, a group of us college students decided to spend our fall break at home, eager to revisit the haunts of our hometown. The most notorious of these haunts was the Hawthorne House, the largest and eeriest haunted mansion in town. It was a tradition to visit it during homecoming, but what began as a thrilling adventure soon turned into a nightmarish ordeal. Our reunion filled the air with laughter and the promise of adventure as we returned to our hometown. We gathered in front of the Hawthorne House, its dark, looming silhouette casting a foreboding presence over us. The house was a crumbling Victorian mansion, long abandoned and overgrown with ivy. Its windows were shattered, and its facade was marred by time and neglect. Legend had it that it was cursed, that those who entered it were never the same. Undeterred by these tales, we ventured inside with flashlights in hand. The air was heavy with an oppressive chill, and the silence was broken only by the creaking of the floorboards beneath our feet. As we explored the mansion's eerie corridors, strange occurrences began to unfold. Whispering voices echoed through the hallways, and shadows danced in the corners of our vision. We couldn't help but feel that we were not alone. Our adventure took us to the grand ballroom, its ceiling adorned with a massive chandelier, swaying ominously in the draft. The room seemed to come alive with a malevolent energy, as if it held the echoes of countless parties from a bygone era. Suddenly, the chandelier above us let out a groan, its chain snapping. Panic set in as we scrambled to get out of its path, but one of our group was not fast enough. The heavy chandelier crashed to the ground, and the room was filled with a deafening crash. When the dust cleared, we realized with horror that one of our friends had been caught beneath it, their body lifeless and mangled. Desperation overtook us as we tried to escape the cursed mansion. The once familiar corridors had transformed into a labyrinth, their walls closing in as if to trap us inside. With each passing moment, the darkness seemed to grow more suffocating, and the whispers of unseen entities more malevolent. It was as if the house itself had come alive, seeking revenge for our intrusion. Just when we thought all hope was lost, a brilliant light filled the room, and the oppressive darkness was banished. We stumbled out of the house, shaken and horrified by what we had experienced. We returned home with heavy hearts, the memory of the haunting of homecoming forever etched in our minds. The house's malevolent presence still haunted us, a chilling reminder that some legends are rooted in the darkest of truths. Story 3. The Haunting on Oakwood Street. On a desolate stretch of Oakwood Street, nestled among gnarled trees and abandoned buildings, there stood a house unlike any other. Its windows were perpetually shrouded in darkness, and its walls bore the scars of time and neglect. It was a house shrouded in ominous legends, one whispered about in hushed tones by the townsfolk. Some claimed it was cursed, while others believed it to be a portal to the otherworldly. The truth, however, was far darker than anyone could have imagined. One gloomy autumn afternoon, a group of thrill-seekers gathered in front of the house, their breath visible in the crisp air. Their faces were etched with a mix of excitement and fear, for the Oakwood house had a reputation for being the most haunted in the town. It was said to be inhabited by malevolent spirits and unspeakable horrors, and its tales had terrified generations. We, a group of 4 friends, had heard these tales countless times. Now we were determined to face the terror head-on. Armed with flashlights, we ventured inside the house, its creaking door protesting our intrusion. The air inside was heavy, laden with the weight of time and forgotten secrets. Shadows seemed to move of their own accord, and the silence was punctuated by the eerie echoes of our footsteps. Our exploration led us to a decrepit living room, where the remains of a once grand fireplace stood. It was there that the first inexplicable event occurred, an otherworldly whisper that sent shivers down our spines. It was as if the very walls of the house held secrets too terrible to utter. Undeterred by the ghostly whispers, we pressed on. We found ourselves in the house's desolate kitchen, where a faint, otherworldly light seemed to flicker from an old gas lamp. It cast eerie shadows on the walls, as if the spirits of the past were trying to communicate with us. As we ventured deeper into the house, the darkness seemed to grow more oppressive, and the air was filled with a sense of malevolence. We began to see fleeting apparitions, shadowy figures that darted out of sight as soon as we noticed them. Panic set in as we realized that we were not alone in the house. The spirits that were said to inhabit the Oakwood house had revealed themselves, and they were anything but benevolent. They whispered vile secrets, their voices like venom, and their faces contorted with rage. With each passing moment, the house's malevolent presence seemed to intensify. The walls closed in, and we felt as if we were being watched by countless eyes that bore into our souls. Just when we thought all hope was lost, a brilliant light filled the house, and the oppressive darkness was banished. We stumbled out of the house, shaken and horrified by what we had experienced. Our encounter with the supernatural that day left an indelible mark on us. The Oakwood house had revealed its true nature, a place of unspeakable horrors and malevolent spirits. It was a chilling reminder that some places should remain undisturbed, for the darkness they hold is beyond human comprehension.